I got another video for you today, but I want to talk about a lot. Hi guys, Ryan Stevens here. Now, before I go any further, I want you to hit that subscribe button so I can keep making these videos for you lovely people. Now, today I want to talk to you about persistence and also why persistence is so important in every aspect of life. It's something I wish I knew a lot longer before I did, or the importance of it. I wish I knew when I was younger just how good it can be to just be persistent at something and what that brings for you in different ways. So if anybody's followed me on social media for a while, you'll know that I've been going in the sea or any natural body of water for over 1,700 days in a row, which is coming up on 5 years. So as far as being persistent goes, I've kind of nailed that, or at least in one area of my life. But what that actually does is when you persist at something or anything, not only does it give you this internal reward of a sense of achievement, which ties in with your confidence, it ties in with your self-worth and your self-belief. So you think that you can go out there and achieve anything because you are disciplined and persistent in an area which might be completely unrelated to every other aspect of your life. So jumping in the sea for me, yes, it's good for well-being, it's good for health. It does link with a lot of the work that I do, taking people out into nature and trying to support them to be better and help themselves. But it also helps me in all other aspects like the gym and diet and, persistency with work and actually producing content and all these different things, because it's the same pattern. It's finding something that's maybe a little bit tough, but you are tracking every day that you're doing it. You know why you're doing it as well in the first instance, and you know what that sense of reward is like that you get from doing it every single day. But one thing I want to say before I go any further is there's a beautiful story which you may remember from when you were in school about the tortoise and the hare. So you may be familiar with this, but the tortoise and the hare, they are lining up to go for a race. And the hare is saying, I'm going to beat you, you've got no chance. And then he shoots off into the distance. But the tortoise starts the race and just starts plodding along. Now, it's quite a warm day, so the hare decides he's going to take a quick nap underneath the tree in the shade, and he oversleeps. And when he wakes back up, the tortoise is just creeping over the line and gets the win. Now, that is about being humble and respecting other people and, being the underdog and all those sorts of things. But what I really love about it is the persistence of the tortoise. Because how many people wouldn't have started that race? Because they'd have looked at the opponent and gone, I've got no chance. So it's about starting and having the courage to start, but it's also about having the determination or the grit or the stubbornness to persist and to keep going. Now, if you've got a business or a job or a relationship and you think, this is not for me, I think it's important to really figure out why we feel it's not for us and dig a little bit deeper beyond the surface. But I think it's also then important to recognize, to walk away when we know those things aren't serving us anymore, okay? So you don't have to persist at things that you know aren't meant for you, but it is important to really persist at the things that are meaningful to you, that you feel are in the direction of where you want to take your life. And it's important to just keep chipping away and to believe in yourself and to work through those little periods where things don't seem to be going your way and you might be in a bit of a lull, but just really push through those moments. And I think when we do that, we end up coming back on this upward trajectory where we're enjoying it again. So for example, with the daily sea swims and dips that I do, there's been so many periods where I'm like, I can't be bothered for this. I might just stop. But I'll get through those periods because I know that's where it really counts, is to push through those periods. And you end up getting the most reward from it because you are doing it, especially when you don't want to. And you've kind of forgotten why what those reasons are that you were doing it in the first place. But if you can keep pushing through, you will end up back on that upward trajectory where things are working amazing for you again, and you know, this is why I'm doing it, this is why it's important, and this is what I'm getting from it. So you just got to ride those periods out. And the last thing I'd say about persistence is all life is going to be tough, or all life is going to be a struggle. There's going to be times where things don't go our way, where things are quite challenging, and being persistent with our goals, with our habits, with the things that we know are beneficial to us, being persistent with communication, with our partners, with our friends and with our family, and showing up each day is really important for the sort of longevity of all of these things, our jobs, our relationships, things like that. If you don't show up to the gym, persistently, you're not realistically going to get the gains that you want. If you don't show up consistently in a relationship, you're not going to get the relationship that you want, or the love that you want, or the intimacy that you want. If you don't show up with your social media presence, if you want to be building some sort of social media outlet that helps people or does something, or like any sort of business, you have to be persistent with the content, and you have to be persistent with speaking to customers and really showing up every single day. And there's going to be days where we don't want to show up. There's going to be days where we maybe feel like we only half show up. But even if you just turn up on that day and you only do one story on social media, or you only do one email for work, you might get in trouble with your boss, but you're still showing up. We're never going to always be that full version of ourselves, but persistence is not about being the full version of ourselves every day. It's just about showing up and keeping on showing up day after day after day after day. Anybody who's talented or good at a sport or good at anything naturally, if you are somebody who is persistent and you love what you do and you keep showing up, you will more than likely get past or overtake that person eventually. If you love it more than they do, if you are really enjoying it and you're doing it for the reasons that are just internal to you, rather than the fame or the money or anything like that. If you're doing it for you, or you're just doing it because you love it, you will be much more likely to persist, and you'll be much more likely to be successful in it. So I'd love to hear any of your feedback. If you've got any questions for me, my email is hello@ryanstevens.co. Social media is @ryanstevens with 3 underscores. I'd love to hear from you. Until next time.